Good morning, students. I am on cloud 9 to meet you all again in this session of today through this class, through this video. Anyway, how are you? Getting ready to come to school? Yes, finally the time has come for us to meet with one another in the school campus. Thank God for it. And now, in the 5th unit, having gone through the things that I have taken in the class already, hope you might have done it. Any doubt in it? No. You might have understood also. Now, let us continue that lessons, okay? Now, take your textbook, page number 139. The second paragraph of the first paragraph of the right. The fact that I am conscious of my own limitations gives me a sense of relief, for I shall not attempt to offer original ideas or theories with a special stamp, but only reiterate some of the cardinal principles enunciated by those who offered their advice in the past years, perhaps with annotations here and there, bringing to bear the layman's point of view to the findings of experts in various fields connected with education. So he said, I am not going to give you any idea of my own, what I have got when I was studying in my college level, the advices that I have got from my teachers, the presidents who have come to give the address in the school day convocations, that I am going to give you. This is the age of common man, whatever the regrets some might have, and it is his point of view that matters most, and I do claim to represent him in all the ruggedness. So it is a age of common man, and everybody has his own importance in this world. Systems and schools of thought, whether it is in philosophy or politics, ethics or economics, are certainly meant for him. Universities are the repositories of knowledge and the nursing ground for the emissaries of thought, wisdom, and service. So, universities, as you know, is the storehouse of knowledge. So, after getting the school education, the children are asked to go to the universities, colleges, to enhance their knowledge, to face the life boldly in future, because universities is a repositories of knowledge. It is a storehouse of knowledge. It is the nursing ground for the emissaries of thought, filled with thought which is given by various authors of the people, well-known people of the world. Wisdom and service have got a prominent role to play, and the prominence is growing every day as more and more individuals get themselves equipped for this task of bettering society in all its age, when we have eschewed monarchy and autocracy and having inaugurated the era of democracy. We have come across autocracy, that is government by the rulers, and now we are enjoying democratic India. We are in the democratic country. In olden days, we are undergoing autocratic form of government by one ruler. During the monarchical or feudal days, universities had to train scholars and poets to adorn the chambers of royalty or the guided mansions of lords and nobles, and their wisdoms was meant for the mansions, not for the marketplace. So when the kings were ruling the country, people who can write poems or some prose articles, they are asked only to write in praise of the kings and queens, the people who are ruling, not for the common people, right? They have to write in praise of the kings or queens or the ministers, not of ordinary people. So that is the time when the feudal or monarchical system was there. But now, we are in an independent country. Everyone has the equal chance opportunities. So in olden days, people are not allowed to write about the common man. Those were the days when numbers did not count, nor were eminent scholars asked to face the problems confronting the masses. They were content to work in scheduled spheres, far from the din and noise of the common man, and weave the costly fabric of philosophy, of poetry, which in turn was to be converted into dazzling garments for the select and the privileged. So in olden days it was the condition like that, but nowadays it is not like that. Everyone has got the opportunity to express what they wish to say about the person whom they want to speak of. We have the freedom to express our own thoughts. The role of university today is not cloistered and confined as in the past. So as in the past, it was not only pertaining to a certain people, group of people, maybe in the upper strata of society. Its function has been enlarged, not in its fundamentals but in its domain. Now, the function of the universities has enlarged, not in the fundamentals but in a domain. I could tell you this. The meaning of it is, when you are in the lower classes, you are studying the subjects as Tamil, English, science, social studies and maths. When you go up to the higher studies, you are studying it as Tamil, English, physics, sciences, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology. There are some. So, after that, at the college level, you have the privilege to select your own subject, where either you can select physics, chemistry, biology, botany or zoology, whatever you like, maths. In that areas, you are just enhancing your knowledge in one domain, in one particular area, the area of knowledge. It has to take into account the commonness, but trim and train, guide and lead him before being asked to his duty as the citizen of a democratic, a task which kindles sweet hopes but which demands patience and perseverance, faith and confidence, faith in himself and in others, and confidence in his inborn ability, inherent meaning inborn, to shoulder the responsibilities. So as they come up of the university, the students are well versed to face the challenges of life. They just inculcated patience, the character quality of patience, perseverance, confidence, faith in himself, faith in others, faith in they just improve, inculcate in self-confidence there. The common man has become the origin of a potential ruler, and duty today, the responsibility today of the universities is to fashion out of him an individual fitted and equipped for the task of making democracy fruitful and effective. So, at present, the duty of the universities are to give education in such a way that when they come out of the universities, they have to get equipped with with knowledge, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotional maturity is expected of them, so that the democracy that we attained for ourselves, the country becomes fruitful and effective. The democracy that we have attained will become fruitful and effective if the individual, the students who are studying in the colleges nowadays comes out of the college just getting well versed with the subjects, the thoughts, common sense, thinking capacity, everything just gets developed, and they can attain a democratic, fruitful and effective country. While addressing the University of Brussels, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, our former president, made the following statement: for its proper functioning, democracy requires more qualities than other forms of government. It is in the universities that we can develop the true spirit of democracy, appreciation of other points of view, and adjustment of differences through discussion. So, only through education, when we grow up, our age also is getting a little grow up. We are growing up, and along with that, we just inculcate the qualities of appreciating others, enjoying the true spirit of democracy, and all the democratic qualities we will inculcate in ourselves. It can be kept healthy and strong by the exercise of individual responsibility and judgment. So when we complete your education and get the degree, you must think, ask a question to yourself: what am I to do now? I have got the degree. What is my responsibility next? What am I to do to the society, to my parents, to myself, to the society at large? I have to ask a question. It can be kept healthy and strong by the exercise of individual responsibility and judgment. In universities, we have to recall the struggles of the past and realize the perils and possibilities and challenges, the opportunities of the present. So in universities, we have to recollect the struggles of the past and the struggle that our previous former students might have underwent in their college education, what the country was at that time, how it was, the privileges that was given to them, and realize the perils and responsibilities, the difficulties, that problems and possibilities and challenges and opportunities of the present. Now, here this Anna comes to say that the economy of our India, our nation, is in peril, is in destruction. So, it has some problem. And so, it is the duty and responsibility of the students who come out of the universities now to have a better understanding of the society. The economic problem think about the economic problem and find out a solution to solve the problems that we are facing today. And he is of the opinion that the youngsters can do what the others cannot do in society. Graduates of the year, this year, I wish you are all prosperous future. For after all, immediate concern of every individual, graduate or no graduate, is to acquire the means for the decent living. So when we get education, when we are graduated, we feel that our next step is to make ourselves pave a way for our life to get a decent living, to get a white collar job and settle high in society. That is the first motivation for all human activity, and no one can ignore it. This is one of the major motive behind the people getting educated. That is of course correct. That is necessary also. But that ought not to be the sole objective. That should not be the only objective of our education. Many of you, most of the students, if we ask what is your next thing, they wish to settle in life, to get a high job, prosperous job, white collar job they are asking. That is inevitable. But you must, that is not the only sole objective of your education. That it should not be the only objective. Something higher and nobler than mere individual material advancement is expected of you. It is not only this thing, you are expected to do a higher and nobler job than what is the real thing, right? You just think of something more than just circulating around the small area of your family, your home, your people, and yes, your small society. Just go beyond that and think and do something to the people of the world. For remember that this university education is a privilege that you enjoy, for which you are deeply indebted to the community of which you are a member. This university education is a privilege which is given to you. Everyone is not privileged to get a university education, but you people got the opportunity to have your education, to get your degree. And at the same time, it is not only getting the degree and moving away from the society without bothering about anything else, but you are obliged to do something, indebted to the community of which you are a member. So you have to give back what you have got from the society to the society. Hope you understand. So Annadurai comes to say that you have got something from the society for your life through the way of education. Right? Now, it is your responsibility to give back to the society what you have already got from it. You have to render some service to the society because you are the part of the society. The society has a major role to play in your life to make you as a graduate. Hope you understand? Right. Most of the money needed for maintaining institutions of higher education come from the revenues collected from the community through the state, and a good portion of that revenue comes from the tillers and the toilers. Men who did not enjoy this privilege, men who willingly submit themselves to discomfort so that they can enable the next generation to lead a better life. While I was giving you the introduction of it, I said the independence that we have got today, the privileges that we are enjoying today, is the selfless sacrifice made, is a result of the selfless sacrifice which was made by our national leaders, great people, who without bothering about their family, sacrificed even their life to get freedom for our country. Just like that, a man, I told you this example already, I think, planting one coconut, small plant in his garden. A very old man, he is a sick person also, but he is planting the coconut. He is very sure that before it gives the fruit to me, I will quit the world. He is very sure that he will move away from the world before this coconut gives the fruit, but he will never keep quiet. He has that sacrificing mentality that I should not keep the land barren because my future generation could at least enjoy the fruit of it. Hope you understand. Just like that, here Annadurai says that most of the money which is needed for maintaining the institutions of higher education, where does that university gets money for this? The colleges get money for providing infrastructure to the colleges. From where do they get the money? From the revenue department. Where do the revenue department get the money? From the ordinary people like you and me. We are paying to the government. That money is utilized for the well-being of the students in colleges and schools, as in for infrastructure facilities, teaching faculties and all that. So he asked a question, where do you get the money? See, you are sitting in a classroom comfortably and got your education for all these days. How do you get this facility? A very beautiful building with the fan facilities, AC facilities. Where do you get the money from? From the revenue department. From where that revenue department got the money? From the common people. So, we are partly, the common people are partly educating the students. So, the society, you got something from the society to get your education. Now, it is your responsibility to give back what you have got from the society. Right? And he says, the community through the state, and the good proportion of that revenue comes from the tillers and the toilers. Tillers and the toilers means agriculture and cattle rearing people, cultivators. And who, these cultivators, since they could not go and get their education, they were tilling the soil and paving a way for you to have a better education, better life in future. So you are indebted to the tillers of the soil. Am I right? You are indebted greatly to the tillers of the soil. And men who did not enjoy this privilege, they also have a wish to get their education, but they were not given the privilege. Men who willingly submit themselves to discomfort, though it is a very great difficulty to till the soil and earn their livelihood, they sacrifice their life so that their thought is, at least in future, my children, our generation, the society at large will enjoy a better future. This is their thought. Graduates, may I ask you, how are you going to repay? Now, Anna, ask a question to the students who are getting graduation on that day. How are you going to repay the debt that you have got to the society? What is that? They have just donated a lot to get a better education for you, sacrificing their life without bothering about their future. They have sacrificed their life to you. How are you going to repay? It is a question which you have to think for a minute and act. Education you have got. Universities have given you the privilege, best privilege for you to face the society in the correct way, to face the problems, solve the problems, and face your life very boldly. How are you going to repay what you have got from the society? Graduates, may I ask you, how are you going to repay? What is to be your contribution to the social chest on which you have drawn so largely? What is your contribution in future to the society? Unless you replenish this richly, coming generations will find only an empty coffer. If you don't mind this, if you don't think about this at present, very surely the future generation will find an empty coffer. Future generation will become a useless people to the society. Your superior education increases your responsibility to society, and therefore, apart from or along with your own individual advancement, society has got a right to expect an adequate return from you. So as you get more and more education, it is your responsibility to give back more and more to the society, right? It is your responsibility to give more and more to the society. As you get more and more education, your responsibility to the society also increases. Apart from or along with your own individual advancement, you yourself has to take care of yourself, your family. Along with that, you have to do a major role, a responsibility towards your society. Society has got a right to expect an adequate return from you. The society is expecting what it could get from your education. Not so much in terms of money as in terms of service. The society is not expecting money from you, it's expecting service from you. Do some good to the others. In toning up the society, in bringing light into dark alleys, sunshine into dingy places, solace into afflicted, hope into the despondent, and the new life to everyone. So this is what the society is expecting from a graduate. Now, listen, what it is expecting from the graduates, it is not expecting any money from people, but it is expecting service. How will you serve the society? To light the areas where there is darkness, to illuminate the places where there is darkness. It doesn't mean that you have to take a candle and light that place, that society. No. By your valuable ideas, by giving your thoughts, by just making them to get job opportunities, you have to bring light to the society. Dark alleys. So already it is dark, clouded with superstitious beliefs, unwanted things, murder, fight. All these things are there in every nook and corner of the society. So as you get education, it is your duty to light the society with your education. Sunshine into dingy places. There are so many dark areas. You have to make that areas brighter by your education. Solace into the afflicted. If some people are there who don't know how to have a better living, who are worrying about so many other things of the family, it is your responsibility after getting education to give comfort to them, give solace to them. It is your responsibility to comfort them. Hope unto the despondent. Depressed people are there. Frustrated people will be there in the society. It is your duty to make them get enthusiastic and energetic in life and live a meaningful life in this world. So, the duty of an educated individual is given by Arinya Ranna here. So, when you get education in future, after getting your college education, you must remember that it is not only your own education, the government has spent such a lot of money on you to get your education. So it is your responsibility to give back what you have got from the society. That government's money is from the society, from the tillers, from the farmers. And with that money we have enjoyed and got a degree. Now we have to find out some way to have a better life for ourselves. At the same time, we must think of our society. You have to light the area where there is darkness. You have to comfort the desolated people. You have to give hope to the people who are already despondent, frustrated, depressed. Right? So these are the duties, responsibilities of a graduated person when he comes out of the university. Unless service is the outcome, the sermons become sweet nothings. So, unless service is the outcome, see, we can preach so many things, but we will never follow what we are preaching. We can say that we have to help the needy. We have to help the people who are in distress. Are we doing it sincerely in our day-to-day life? No, never. You used to say that I am very busy with my schedule. How could I go and do this? What is the reason behind me going there? Why should I go? I am not related to that person. These are all the things that we used to say. So, service must be the outcome of our education. And sermons become sweet nothing. If service is not there, our preaching has no meaning at all. As Jefferson stated, we must dream of an aristocracy of achievements arising out of the democracy of opportunities. We must dream of an aristocracy of achievements. We must have a patience, mind to do so many achievements in our life. And it arises out of our democracy and opportunities. We have a democracy and we have plenty of opportunities, and you have to make that society an aristocratic one. This is words of Jefferson, a famous thinker, scholar. And When I seek the, I think we can make a stop here. Just go through it. Arnir has given a very valuable, what I can say, advices, valuable advices for you to follow in your life after getting your education completed. So follow this and try to bring out a better society, and so that we can form a better nation and a developed nation too, right? Go through the lessons, children, and come for the next class. I hope most probably we will meet in the class. Till then, bye.